Dr. Shmoka, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you
Uh,
for the invitation.
are the mega trade agreements leading to the fragmentation of the global trading architecture?
This is definitely the case because you have so much trade involved, so much global GDP involved by the participating countries. It will fragment the global trading order. The only problem is that the WTO is stalled. There's no progress going on at the Doha round. This would be the most important thing, to have progress at the Doha round. This is not happening, and nobody can see right now how this is supposed to happen. And the large players really need new rules because the rules of the WTO are still from 1995, and the trade has changed. We have global value change and everything, and we need new rules to deal with that. And right now, the only possible way is to do that through a large trade agreement, even though it's unfortunate for the global trading order.
Okay. So, what is the role of the WTO considering the inroads made by the new global trade agreements in enabling both governments to governments as well as more plurilateral conversations, including corporations?
The WTO is still a very important organization. It's one of the central organizations that we have in trade, and it's important for the large trading partners, but it's particularly important for developing countries and least developed countries because these countries very much depend on global rules. So it's important for them to have the WTO where each country has a say and where no one can bully other countries into decisions. So the most fortunate way would be for the WTO to go forward and to liberalize or to establish new rules. This is not happening, but we must not forget that the WTO has still a very good dispute settlement system, and that's still important. Even though we have regional free trade agreements, countries can still come to the WTO if their rules are upheld by other countries and sue. And I think this dispute settlement system is one of the most important mechanisms that we have so far. And the third part is transparency. We have almost universal WTO membership right now. Other countries have to tell their rules that they initiate to the WTO, so you have no surprises when you trade with another partner. You have to put all your rules to the WTO, also about the free trade agreement. So transparency is an issue that should not be underestimated. And the third point is you still have aid for trade, you still have the development aspect that the WTO is dealing with. It could do much better if we had the Doha round, but it's still an aspect where the WTO is important. So we should do everything to strengthen it. But right now, many countries see the only way forward through plurilateral agreements. And countries should be very careful to stick to WTO rules and to invite as many WTO members as possible and maybe open it up in the end to all WTO members. But right now, it's the only way forward on trade rules and liberalization.
Great. And one final question. What kind of trade and investment agreements are required so that countries can facilitate better movements of goods and services?
Well, we do have WTO plus agreements that are negotiated. It's not only the Trans-Pacific Partnership or TTIP between the EU and US. You also have the RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership among the ASEAN countries. And what becomes more important is not the tariff reduction. That's, I think, the old kind of trade. But you have new rules and the lowering of non-tariff barriers. And what's more important, you have the aspect of global value chains. And these need to be definitely promoted through these free trade agreements. So you need new rules on many issues, on corruption, on competition, also on energy. So I think that's the way forward, to include many more rules where countries and make them facilitate to have trade.
Dr. Shmoka, thank you very much for these insights.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.